happy and being able to adapt is also, or even more, essential. Learn to find peace within yourself. Now, when our emotions threaten to overwhelm and devastate us, we can find the center of our being. The practice of quieting the chaos of one's mind through meditation has been a practice from Wall Street executives all the way to ancient Roman philosophers and many others. So always find time to occasionally retreat into yourself. Okay? Just retreat into yourself and meditate. Learn how to find peace within yourself. Also, be very deliberate in your actions. Life is too serious for you to just carelessly keep going. When we put effort, just enough effort actually, to make it to the end of each day, life becomes less tiring and it makes us let me go through that again. When we put forth just enough effort to make it to the end of each day, life becomes tiring and makes us bitter and vulnerable. So instead of wasting away your career acting like a robot, go ahead and accomplish things with energy and focus. This way of approaching your work will keep you sharp and confident. Now let's go through stories of few people that have experienced, going down and starting all over again. Okay? Now, President Biden's recent visit to Ukraine was okay. Sorry, let's look at the stories now. I don't want us to go into like politics so that we can just learn the actual stories. We can actually learn from these stories. Now, we can learn from our history that Chinese migrants worldwide had faced numerous challenges over the past 2 centuries. But despite these challenges, however, they have shown remarkable resilience and perseverance and have gone on to thrive throughout the world. Some also finally got their recognition as their toil and hard work and contributions have mostly been written off in history books. Now, China came from a place that, it was very poor. It was a very poor nation. One of the earliest waves of Chinese migration occurred in the mid 19th century. And I think that was a result of the Opium Wars and the subsequent Treaty of Nanking. Many Chinese workers were brought to the United States, Canada, and Australia to work on infrastructure projects, and basically people might argue that China built American West and California, but they eventually were able to build, strong communities and establish successful businesses, often even in the face of very difficult challenges. Now, there are so many people that have faced. In fact, I don't think there's any person that has gone through very difficult, that has experienced success, that haven't dealt with very serious, problems coming up. It's almost impossible to find that. Virtually everybody that that has experienced or is experiencing tremendous success of any sort is someone who started and failed. The difference between them and the people that are succeeding is that they didn't remain on the ground. They didn't stay down. When they fall, they always get up. Another step that you could incorporate in, overcoming adversity is starving your anxieties. Now, it's easy to underestimate the power of directing our attention towards something. Oftentimes, we gradually shift focus to a worry lingering in the background of our mind until it overwhelms us. Bring these worries to the forefront of your mind, settle on a way to address the root of each, and then determine that you will ignore these negative thoughts the next time they pop into your consciousness. Simple. The moment you have given it a thought and you're like, okay, this is how I'm going to handle this problem, that's it. Move on from it. You don't have to always pay attention to your anxieties. Most of the time, anxiety makes you see a problem bigger than it actually is. Also, don't forget to be autonomous. A strong support network of people who care for us is essential in dealing with our life's challenges. But that does not mean that we should be totally dependent on others. Finding your autonomy basically means fending for yourself. It is to discover in yourself the source of your interest, your taste, and your motivations. You have to have a sense of self. Okay, understand who you are, know who you are. Now, this next point is actually very, very important. You need to practice self-control. The very first step to gaining mastery over yourself is to refrain from making decisions when you become overtaken by emotion, whether good emotion or bad. Now, the goal is to learn to separate your emotion from a situation and see it objectively. If you lose your job, for example, your emotional impulses tell you that you're worthless. But if you were to look at the reality of the situation, you could actually proceed with a steady mind and do whatever is necessary to secure a new job and move on from there. So try to always separate your emotions from your reality. Also, practice integrity. Okay? Yeah. Setting aside our values to take the necessary way out can have long term effects. Coherence within ourselves allows us to feel more solid. So, if we start redefining ourselves in a negative way, we will not have a foundation of values to keep us, uh, to help us actually get through setbacks and challenges. This one is more than important. You have to develop in depth relationships and interests. Okay, today more than before, more than ever before, we jump from distraction to distraction without necessarily investing ourselves into much at all. Now, if you give, I think that giving depth to our most important relationships and passions can allow us to become more able to bounce back from life's difficulties. Don't forget to always venture outside your comfort zone. It's okay if you're lost in a particular way. Maybe try new things. Fear is one thing that keeps us from doing what is necessary to proceed in every aspect of our lives. So, risk, on the other hand, helps us to grow and renew ourselves. Now, this doesn't mean you should just jump and make careless risks. No, I'm saying make calculated risks, but don't be afraid to risk. Now, whenever you experience setback or failure, always remember to take lessons from every failure and setback. The most resilient people understand that every one of their defeats offer the chance to become wiser and better suited for meeting similar challenges in the future. I do hope that this has actually helped someone, and I hope that it has helped more than anything. The beginning of the show where we had a little chat or a little talk about starting all over, and the songs that we played in the course of this show actually helped you gain perspective. And as we've come to the end of this episode, I do hope that you found inspiration and valuable insights about how you can actually turn your adversity into triumph. Remember, life's challenges do not define us. It is our response to them that shapes our destiny. So, whether it is a setback that you're facing, a career transition, or personal hardships, just know that starting over is not a sign of failure, but a courageous step towards growth and fulfillment. Embrace the power of self help, nurture your resilience, and believe in your ability to create a brighter future. Remember that you have strength within you to overcome any obstacle and to rise to new heights. This is Michiwe Blessing saying, stay motivated, keep learning, and embrace the journey of starting over. And I do hope that you will stay with us. In the Street begins immediately or almost immediately. Actually, the industry begins shortly. I'm going to just leave you with the song by Two Face. It's No Shaking. Don't shake. Don't fret. Nothing will happen.